about Israelite family. Their family. I want to let this say that people like I want to want so that people have to do that this Bible is. But the scripture say that let's stay here today. Did you go to here today?
Israelites would be different here on earth.
Romans 11 and verse 1. I see that had God cast away his people, God forbid, for I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. I see that, Romans 11 and 1. I see that had God cast away his people. God forbid.
God forbid, right? If I need to forbid something means you. Right? Because like if you give it a good class, you make a mistake, I forbid that. Right? So, say, forbid, I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin, right? That's right, one of the tribe, out of the 12 tribes, right? So God didn't vary the nation of Israel, right? Yeah, we want to, let's see 5 minutes right there. This one show you 2 years and 45. So most of people don't know that. All these brothers call now, you call this a black man and all that thing, right? What color that man is glasses on? He's watching. What color that is? So how is a black man in brown? Wrong, but they say you're black. Then there's what African people are saying, dark, looking like you're almost black itself. Some Indian and them, dark skin, but when you see them say dark skin, Indian, call them Madras Indian, or the rest is like an Indian dude. Or they don't call them black and them darker than that's the thing, right? You understand? You gotta know that trend, right? Right? So when you get trend, you have to know this, right? You know?
Deuteronomy 1:1, right? It says, these be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Right, so Moses was talking to all to the Israelites and them, right? So he's training at Deuteronomy, written to the Israelites. So he's talking to the Israelites in Deuteronomy. Right? So all that Deuteronomy written to the Israelites. Right? Yes, right.
Chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass if
First class, good thing on bad. Bad, right? Now everything in life have an opposite thing. Cola, what's the opposite of cola? What's the opposite of wood? Cool, right? The opposite of good is bad. Or you can use no good, right? Everything have an opposite, right? So
and it shall come to pass, verse 1. And it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
if thou would listen and pay attention, right? To the voice of the Lord, right?
which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations
Right,
of
so
the
if the
earth.
Israelites and them listen to the words of God, meaning listen to the commandments and keep it, you have to put the Israelites above everybody. Right? One nation of people you say right now on the face of the earth, living in poverty and under every other nation of people. Living under either Indian, Chinese, white man, Syrian, status and that, right? So-called black man, right? The so-called black, right? What they call people not black, right? Which one you say living under everybody? Black man, right?
Verse 15. So it says,
So verse 1 says, if it is to keep the commandments, if the Israelites keep the commandments, it will be above everybody. Right? This is the Israelites keeping above, right?
curses from the Lord. Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right, so in verse 1 it says, if you keep the commandments, you're going to bless you above everybody, right? These people in the Bible, they call them Esau, right? They are like the Bible speak of, right? This is the so-called white man. They're not white. When you look at them good, you see that the skin red, right? They're not white at all, right? Because I never see a man color this by your walk. What's that I want? Looking at kind of pinkish, kind of reddish thing. As a talk to get vexed, the face get red and all kind of thing, right? Then red, right? You can show that in our own thing, 25. Then is the devil that the Bible talking about, right? So continue reading it.
Right, verse 16. So it says, cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Right? So how we living in this doing any business, you feel this Dairy Queen, bank holder, you feel we own any one of these businesses that you can see about. So that means under the other nation of people, right? So-called black man, right? But remember, the Israelites didn't have it, right?
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
What do you know?
Right, cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Right? So how we living? We want nothing. We people have to live day to day, like paycheck to paycheck, right? Alright. If we have one say like we are jewelry, even if you are jewelry, somebody who is seeing flexing jewelry, and if that's the poorest grade or anything that we have, right? But we want it to be looking like, you know, like you know these other nations and when you read the Bible, you realize that we honor them, right? But we so want to be just like them. That you know we come out here and put on our shoe. But really and truly, we honor these people and them. Because what? You realize that we people don't keep the commandments of God. Right? Remember Psalm 54. How we people just live with one another. Like, alright, what is right? You see, right? Them walking around with them in love and this and that. When you see a so-called black man walking with him, so-called guilt. Yeah, and she quite across and he didn't want to be there. Understand? Going out to cheat on, but he really want nobody to see him cheat and all kind of thing. Understand? So, and then after a man now, like, you will see like this brother walking across the road there. A man will size him up and watch him and kind of really cause one. I didn't know how you get that thing. You understand? You have a hatred towards one another, right? But remember, the Israelites do not go to it.
Verse 54. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother.
His eye shall be loving towards his brother.
Eye shall be evil towards his brother.
Right, so we want one delicate. Anyhow going on. If I see you on the bus, you don't know that, and I need you in a passenger advising, you're going on, but I will have to tell you. Is it down? No, I don't see, man. I don't see. It's small. Right? And you ain't looking back for no help. You know, some people do it and they say, well, somebody may help me, you still understand, and I mean, they ain't give it genuine. Right? But if I give you this flyer and say, probably when I use this, my man, they might help with something, I gave it for the future return or something else, right? So that it means it wasn't genuine. But we had a genuine love. We didn't have genuine stuff.
Right, verse 54. So it says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate,
we was delicate with one another, we was soft with one another. Right?
His eye shall be evil towards his brother.
Now because the Israelites and men did not listen and the commandments of God, now they have an example to carry on with them. If you want something, right? You can't say man, right? When I'm walking and trying to pull from right now, right? And this one I'm telling you something here right now. What is the action we have? Go and kill and answer the reach of yourself, right? You look for confusion and walk play up the fight, right? That's the Bible says. You're going to have an evil eye now towards one another, right? Which should not be, right? But that is remember, the Israelites and them didn't keep the commandments, and the Messiah said, I'm going to be calling people curse. Now all of us are like, hate one another, instead of love one another. Now the other nations will come together and them go help one another. Right? If you watch right here in Trinidad and all, you realize that the Indians helping the Indians, the Syrian helping this one, everybody helping one another, right? They all come together. Right. If your business down, we try and help you raise your business back up. Then we have something. And somebody selling that for us, all of a sudden we stop talking to them and back and I telling people now don't move and buy shoe, right? That's how we started to live amongst one another because why? Don't do what God said to do, right? How you say we come back here on we share to church now. As far back as we slavery, right? Or how we come here? We come here on that that type, right? What type? Fishing boats? Yup. See, right? Maybe these guys in Bible. Maybe, right, as I say, we people come here on a slave ticket, right? But you just pan the camera and just get the boat, right? Right, so you'll see we people come here on a boat, right? Right? So you don't want just people on the right, they talk about this and what I'm going to see and right? So we didn't hear that the Israelites are not in the sea on sea ships, right? Remember that the Israelites also are talking to them probably, so that means that the sun on the face of the right now still. Right? So let's keep that in remembrance, right?
Verse 64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth
That's
even
what
unto the
we're
other.
taking from the whole land now, because we didn't want to listen, they want to serve white man, they want to serve religion and all this kind of nonsense. If I put you with them, they're going to be under them. How you say people living in Trinidad, we are above them or we under them? Under them, right?
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Now we don't answer the truth, religion and tonight. You look up all religion and see white devil up and down here. Then we bring out religion and tonight. And give you Christianity and all this nonsense. Question. When Christ was walking the face of the earth, what religion he was? Is that any religion back then? So why, if we're supposed to be Christ, like, how now we following religion? And all religions saying them have the truth, right? But each one of them hate one another. I thought God is love according to the church and right? The Exodus 15 and verse 3. Hold on to the Sunday Exodus 15 and verse 3. Right, just more verses and you know you have to go, right?
Exodus 15 and verse 3. So it says, the Lord is a man of war, the Lord is his name.
Man, one love, right? Read it again.
The Lord is a man of war.
Anybody else see? Let's see Jesus.
The Lord is a man of war, the Lord is his name.
A man of war. All love. But if it's all love, you ain't going to kill your enemy. You ain't going to put your enemy to death. Because remember, I is love. Love don't know death. You understand that? Love don't know putting a man under harsh punishment, right? So, Musa is a balanced God. It can never be all love and you understand? And just things happen. It's a balanced God, right? Do what you say to do, you will bless you. Go against the word, just like a parent go discipline the child, you will not discipline you. Right? Right? What Jesus is saying was created. That we are belted into the word, especially to the Israelites and them. So as we go off, them now take over and ruling and them bring in harsh punishment. The Bible tells us how them is so that Moses was used against you, right? Right. So Moses said in Deuteronomy 28 and 64 that we will not scatter the Israelites now across the face of the earth and we will not serve other gods. We will not go under them, other religion on them, people on them, try to serve the religion and try to work for them instead of them having the other religion work for. We now want to be under them, right? Verse 16.
Verse 68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
What we are doing in Egypt on that Pharaoh, the Israelites are doing slavery, Egypt on that Pharaoh. See, right?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
What?
With ships.
A plane.
With ships.
A cruise ship and plane.
With ships.
Right? So, see here the Israelites and them going to slavery with ships, right? Continue.
By the way whereof I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right? And you never see the woman again, right? Now, some Israelites could travel to Israel for a short period of time, right? But there's a whole nation of people that come out of the land. A whole nation of people who can't get it. The Israelites can't get to go back into the land, right? Right?
Right? And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen,
Slave man and slave woman.
and no man shall buy you.
This buy you're talking about, remember the bad man never said buy slave, right? But this buy you're talking about, then free from tax. Wherever the put the Israelites in them, the next thing you know, the Israelites for the sex and the salary, the people are working on hard, and people want to buy this and this, right? So so far we're reading about, right? What type of people this talk now? Right? So what would that mean? What? Nah man, I feel like these things like these just white people or something. What would that mean? BRD? I just see, you know, saying, but I just say it proud, it's something like it, you know, like these are what, you know, find out these white people. These Israelites, you understand? You gotta say that it's a blessing to be an Israelite. You understand? Kingdom of heaven is only to the Israelites. Revelation 1 and Amen and Amen. Right? So, right? But we is the Israelites, right? It's not black people, it's not niggers, it's not white back. Right? So one form here, Israelite. Alright. Right? So it's not USA. Right? So it's good to see at least one person wake up and understand who they is according to the word of God, right? So a lot of we people keep falling back that know the truth and going back into the world and losing the fear of the Most High, right? And we know that the purpose of man is to serve the Most High, right? He ain't put us here to serve the vain opinion or what we think or what we believe or how we feel it, right? So this is the book of Ecclesiastes. You'll get Sirach 19 and 18. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 1. So like 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the whole conclusion of the matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Right? This is what the Most High created man for. He didn't create us to only have a good time or to, you know, to bring down one another and focus on I have and this one don't have and all these sort of worldly foolishness. Right? The Most High created us to have a love, right, towards we people, not to the other nations and them. Right? Because we see it as some kind of tools or whatever it might be here, where it's a lot of Edomites around, right? And you've seen a lot of we people trying to talk.
I'm going to tell time for the word of Lord. Because how many time for the word of Lord? It's a mighty thing, it's a mighty thing. It's a mighty thing, it's a mighty thing. Alright, that's nothing, that's nothing. Just out here, just showing people who is not going to the scriptures, right? And it's a mighty thing that you come to here because you ain't going to see brothers and things out here trying to teach you this knowledge. You don't find church people coming out and telling this, right?
I don't want to stop here, right? I understand what they're doing. We're going to see already. But I don't really deal with literature.
Literature?
So, any literature we get is degradation from who we actually is. So I know we are a black man, and I know that you believe that you come from a certain place. But the fact that they give me literature to find where we're from, they're using literature in a particular way. And not, I don't dispute literature with people because it's something that they use as a tool. It's not where we as a people get knowledge from. In that same book they tell you that he go call our chosen people and they go understand the law within their heart and in their mind. And that is where he go bring the knowledge from, or that is where he go disseminate the knowledge or give the knowledge in the being, because that is where the temple is. You know, I'm not disputing the Israelite thing, you know, because I was in the religion, you know, I didn't believe it, and then something tell me to look at the literature, to look at the fact that we didn't write this. This was written and given to our forefathers, and we know following it in such a way that we believe that what was written and given to us is true.
Let me just answer.
That's our question, right? That's our question, right? When you know how to read and write, huh?
Yeah,
we learn that from
the white.
So then, When you're going out and you're seeing signs and things and you're reading, and that is what it is, then.
Like what they into. Like why into.
No, but that, if you say you're going on Caracas or wherever it is and thing, and that is what the same information that them give you, and that is what you following, right?
Yeah.
Then they can lead you off and on to the same way. Right? So, you have to understand something, brother. All knowledge come from the Most High. It's not good and it's not bad, right? The white man wouldn't put certain things in the Bible that condemning his own self, right? I want you know about Obadiah in the Bible, right? Yeah, Obadiah 1 and verse 10 and 1 and verse 10.
This is Obadiah 1 and verse 10. So it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Right, so you're telling me that all the white man go and get cut off, right? If I giving you a book and trying to chain up here and tie you up with word knowledge, right? I go and give you all the information and show you that what going to be my demise in the same book. You can stop and show him, but in the end, all what you're doing, what going on here, you going to be nothing just now. But I give you the information that could take me down.
I can give you a perception of it.
A perception of that. So we ain't seeing it happening right now. Like the white man falling right now.
Where will you see it?
Look what
You
going on
don't see
in
that?
Venezuela and thing. If you let any Caribbean like super white man come down here with the ships and
You
things.
ain't seen anything?
So, alright, go with
You
that.
want to get these things.
So, with all the destruction, right? With all the destruction that happened, who facing the penalty?
We paying for what it is the forefathers doing. Them had to pay for them judgment coming in.
Yeah, I ain't saying no man, because I read the whole of Deuteronomy 28. I read the whole of Deuteronomy. I read that Bible.
Right. And who does the Bible talking about?
That Bible is for the Chernite church.
Right.
Yeah.
So, right. Oh, you're right. You can read it, right? And say that know about the
Even
Israel and everything, right?
Jesus said that he ain't come for everybody else, come only unto the Chernite, the
The
lost
Israelites,
sheep.
right? Or the outside Israel,
At
Matthew
the
15 verse
outside,
24, right?
Right?
Right.
So I have a clear understanding of what all they're bringing to me.
Right.
Trust me when I tell you that, right? I believe in the Israelite understanding at a point in time fully until, because I would hope that all they understand also, because it is for every man. Because you see, just as a tree does be a seedling, it does go from a seedling to a shrub, then from a shrub a little higher, then a little higher, and then it just start to bear fruit. So every man have a place, every man have a time to elevate out of a certain era and other. You know?
I have a piece, right? So I'm just bringing this out, right? So these Revelation 1 and 3. It says, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand, right? So let's go into what the brother say. You're seeing that time is at hand, right? You're seeing these white people, although we might suffer, right? You're seeing these white people, the kingdom collapsing, the economies and they collapsing, right? Now I know that, you know, all are we as so-called black people, we're trying to make it, we're trying to see what is the truth and thing, right? But we as black people, we have to understand, right? God is not so wicked to say, well, here we're going to make things hard here, right? Because listen, right? There are something called judgment, right? And how I go, right? To judge me and I say, well, this boy, I drill hard and things to find the truth and thing, right? If you realize each nation preserving the history, they have their books and thing, right? But when we do it, we thinking it's some kind of train up and this and that and that, and that just going into the precept in Deuteronomy where it says that the Lord will smite you with madness, you know?
It's not our book. This is not our history.
But how it could be
No,
helped?
really,
But
it
just say the
wasn't-
book is for the Israelites.
It wasn't written for us, by us, right? That wasn't passed on to the forefathers. The way that knowledge supposed to be passed on, right? And
If it wasn't written for we, right? Who this was written for?
Who was written for?
I stand correct.
No, that's actually.
That's
It was
correct.
written to and for them.
That's
But when you
correct,
read this
right?
whole Bible, it's showing you how we supposed to live, how we supposed to change and this and thing, right? What is right? It's that how we going through different things, right? Mark your question. A good father does do what? If your child going to school, right? And your child join up with other friends now and doing all kind of nonsense in school, we are going on discipline. You child and everybody, we're going to discipline your child. So if the Most High telling you in the Bible, he's the father to the Israelites, right? What you feel he's going to do every time we go?
Disciplining children.
Right, disciplining children, right? What we people keep doing day by day by day. What's something, right? Today is the Sabbath day, right? The 7th day of the week, right? Why we going through certain things, right? This is Lamentations 5, and I'll start at verse 7, right? Our fathers have sinned. You know, we forefathers have sinned, right? And are not here again, right? And we have borne their iniquity. When a man say you're paying long for a house, right? And say the person paying for it come and die, but if you're in reach age at 20, 21, wherever it is, legal age they're working, right? For them to keep that house, what am I to do? Continue paying for it, right? So this is what the Most High is showing, right? The forefathers have sinned and they're not here to pay for it right now. We here. So we continue paying. And you know what we're doing right now? We continue doing the same thing and even worse. Right?
So that is why
That's all.
I say,
That's all. I'm finish making the point, right? I'll get it further. So that is why you see, when our father come to the school now, as you're saying yes now, but come to discipline, you know, start to teach child, it might let the child know you're going to stay from my child, whatever. But you can't discipline somebody else's child, that is not yours. You understand? Discipline what is yours to make sure that that child is walking right way, right? Right. Servants have rule over us, and there is none that both deliver us out of their hand. Right? What we would call prosperity in this wicked kingdom here today. Right? Having a little Jordan shoes on your foot, a little fancy car, you know, you're living in some kind of gated community and thing. That is an illusion they give we. That is what the white man do to we, and make we feel like, you know, like we reach and we make it now, and you know, you're amongst them and you're driving a little Benz and you feel like you're good. Not knowing at all, alright, what you rich people on them? They can buy this, that, everything, right? The ruling thing, them ruling over we, right? We so-called people that calling themselves black man and all them sort of nonsense, right? Because your pants black, your skin brown. But we still calling ourselves black, right? You know what you call them? People and them are calling themselves white man. What you call about white vehicle or this paper here, you never see a man that color, right? So this is what they use on with psychology, meaning our words, right? So if you tell a man, ask a man simple thing, a man talking about he going to Jamaica next week, ask him what Jamaica means. He don't know. Jamaica simply means land of wood and water. This is where they used to go and repair them slave ships and them. But that lot of strong trees and wood and thing, right? If you watch it for the porters, man one of the cheapest port, where the water thing is not, for them big ships and them, right? People that are coming there normal, right? Meaning our words, when we using words, we have to understand what it means. That's why the white man created English. English have no meaning. That's why you have to go in a dictionary to understand everything.
it's difficult.
Right? So, when you understand who we is, King, we forefathers and them sin. And what we people doing. To come out of something what you have to do. You have to stop doing it and turn away from it, right? Because you're going on. If you was once a thief and you want to live a righteous life now, what you have to do? Thief a little bit more and then put on, pack up something and then stop. Next time you go, when it is most, I wake up to that knowledge that you're supposed to cut off this now. When next time you go out and do it, you might end up losing a limb. You get shoot, you get crippled, you can get damaged, you can lose your life, right? Because the most I wake you up to it and now you're just running back to it because why? You feel you had a stuck up thing in this world in order to live a good life. Right? And that is something we're supposed to run away from. But this is we history book. When you read in the Bible, so yeah, they don't tell you about all it's showing you that these other nations and them, what they do to we people and what we should do to come outside.
Yeah, why I take out of this Bible. Go to John chapter 13 and 24. Right? And Christ said that we are gods. Right? And he referred to David when David would have spoken Psalm 82 and said that we are gods and children of the Most High.
You are gods and all of you are children of the Most High, we should die like men.
Right.
Well, the wages are sin as well.
Why take that? So what I take from that, right? Because my philosophy is totally different, right? As I say, I know I just take what the Most High put in me to take. I can't take nothing else. The life that I have is the Creator have it in balance. Nobody else can have my life in balance, right? The only reason I get up this morning and breathe the breath of life is because the Most High within me, because that is His breath of life, the breath of life is what I'm using right now to speak and to have this congregation here to speak with you, and life the Most High itself. Right? I can't have life without the Most High. Right? And because I have the Most High in me, I have a certain amount of autonomy. Autonomy. You should say authority too, but I would say autonomy, meaning that I could function who I want, I could say what I want, right? I could move in the way that I want.
God also tell you, God also tell you there's nothing like free will. So anything you're doing, as you now say, is of the spirit of the Most High, right? The Most High didn't choose all Israel to come and get saved in this judgment and coming here. 1/3 will be saved, 2/3 going and get put to death. Right? And I'll show you something and all to do. And man, just like how you think in your mind, right? Everybody might say what they think and them know right from wrong, right? But without a man or without the instruction of God guiding you, right? But everybody might say, a man, I say, last week before we come down here, a man was saying, Rastafari and this and that, a man believe Rastafari is this, right? And don't say that craziness, right? And believe that that is the right way. Everybody think them know God, and everybody believe that them conception or wherever it is of God is the correct way of God, right? Right? But as you say just now, we all are kings and all are children of the Most High, right? But we shall die like men, right? But let me show you the reason why he tell you we shall die like men.
It's Romans 6:23. For the wages of sin is death.
The wages of your salary for the week.
For the wages of sin is death.
Right? So the wages of sin. When it is you keep going off, is piled up. Just like how your child might do something wrong. But you know you spare them this time. Keep sparing them, keep sparing them. You know it's day that you can't take no more, you had enough. What are you going to do to them? You're going to show that judgment, right? So if it is we keep going off, King, and keep going off and keep going off, and we know willingly know that we are going on. This is what the Most High hate, and we keep doing it and saying, well, you know what, I acknowledge ourselves, and I believe in the Rastafari, just like how some of them keep talking once in their madness, and they believe in whatever they believe in, right? When Christ was walking the face of the earth, right, they didn't have no religion. Now it's once everybody believes in Rastafari religion. Christ was a Muslim. Christ was a Muslim. Islam was the reigning thing. When Muhammad come about, but the Bible was listen.
One way to look at. No, let me do
no arguing.
I
just want number one.
I think I flow and you know, you sending me a thing. I do like that. I don't have to do religion.
Religion is not of God.
I do not support any religion. I believe in truth.
Right. But that's not right. So I just want to clarify one thing. But you understand what we now say, right?
Yeah, when you see Christ depicted, when you see Mary depicted in pictures or in any kind of background or any photo that you look at with these people, you would see Christ in a bum, right? You would see Mary with a hijab, right? Up to now you can't see Mary here, right? Up to now you can't see Christ in a pants.
How are we supposed to be? Oh, man, supposed to be?
I just saying, because Jesus understands me, right? Jesus understands me.
We just simple.
Right? And you see,
but that's not,
I read as I say, I read the Bible and I read the Quran. You would know that the Quran, Allah make a pleading to the Israelites. You know that in our book, a whole surah in the Quran just for the Israelites.
Right. Any surah also tell us how to be friends with the Jews and them?
Nah, I didn't know.
Mark, so which one comes first, the Quran or the Bible?
The Bible.
Right, so then, alright, if the Bible comes first, right, that is what Christ used to come and sit in the synagogue, find the place which part you wanted, and read from, right?
But not that,
With the, if the Bible comes first, right, I think it's 500 years or something, so after, then Muslim things start come about, right? So then, how the Christ was a Muslim, why he was on the face of the earth, he never had Muslim? I just asking you a question.
I know Christ could be a Muslim if Muhammad was the first Muslim.
How Christ,
Muhammad was
oh, listen, right?
Go on,
As the same reason, right?
yeah.
How could Christ be a Muslim if he's a Jew? And in the same Quran showing you that
Jews was from Judah.
Right.
They would call a
Judah, no. A land that's getting named after the people that live in the how China get it named?
The name in China.
How it get it named?
Who name in China?
They get it named after the people that live in there, right? How India get it named?
The name it that.
Because the Indians and them live in there, right? When a group of people living in one spot,
You see, we just want to go back a little bit because we don't know who deal with the ethnicities. We don't know who name India. We don't know because they name Africa.
Africa was named after a white man who called Leo Scipios Africanus.
Right. So
Right.
who India name after?
It's named after the days where the Indians, the Mosai give the Indians and them to
So
live.
we would say we's Africans.
We are not Africans, brother.
So that we could say that Indians and them is Indians.
Africa, how much different countries? Everybody else have a country, right? How much countries have in Africa?
I'm not sure, but you can.
I think it's about 54, 52 or something, right? Right? That different people living there, right? Not so?
Yeah.
Right. So we was living in Jerusalem, right? So not because you live in the lands are big, right? If the whole world
They know
was
the
one
Canaanite,
piece of land,
the
right?
Canaanites was black, right?
Right, the Canaanites is Africa, right? There is where Ham come from, right?
And I know that Israel was sent on the Africans, right?
To do what?
To kill them.
Right.
The
So,
Canaanites, the
right.
Africans was Canaanites.
Right, so if the Israelites went to kill all the Africans, as we say in there, right? Which is the truth, right? Certain Africans and then
Yeah.
the Mosai give them, right? So then if the Israelites and the Africans is the same color skin, has similar hair type, but you realize that there is two different nation of people, right? Not the same people, right?
These Exodus 11 and 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord had put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Right? So, as your brother was saying, right? Although we might look the same like them, right? For example, Japanese and Chinese, right? They look the same, right? But it's not the same people, right? If you call a Chinese man a Japanese, they'll be upset because if you're ultra American, US Japanese and them, right? They're upset, and China was back in the US and thing, right? So we might look the same, but we's not the same people, right? So it's like this, right? You're saying that all the most I say in the scripture go and affect the Canaanites and thing and this and that, right? That is how we people, that is how we heritage, right? If we's Africans, right? Why for Emancipation Day we don't do like them Africans and sing all our gods and do like we have to have big red, let's call it and thing, right? And put this kind of thing in the left and all these other things, right? So that's the show is have a that difference, right? What about?
You see Christ was a Muslim, right? Right? You understand that Christ come from the tribe of what?
Yeah.
Right? So the Jews and them, and Muslims and them do agree, right? The so-called white man, the Mosai, do you know that?
Well, like so the church is out more big thing now.
Churches was in the wilderness with Moses, right? Before down in your body to 40 or 40 right? They had a physical building in the wilderness.
The Bila temple, I think, yeah. They had a tent. They had a tent.
Tents, right? A tent is not a temple and all them different, right? They had tents in the wilderness, right? To show you that the church was in the wilderness with Moses, meaning people and them, right? The church who? What type of people are? Right? So the church was in the wilderness with Moses, right? That's why God said, one or two are gathered, they are in the midst of them. Not everybody, them, right? So the Mosai not dealing with the other nations of people and all them, right? Dealing with the Israelites and them. Right?
Right,
So if you dealing with
right.
the Israelites, right? So just